I know where the WMD's stored, so follow me or get out of my way. She clearly has daddy issues.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the brand new Arnold Schwarzenegger led Netflix TV show, Fubar. Obviously this stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as well as Monica Barbaro, Millen Carter, Gabrielle Luna, Fortune Feinster, Travis Van Winkle and Jay Baruchel. Now the film has a similar concept to True Lies, I suppose, with a little bit of a twist to it. It focuses on Schwarzenegger's character Luke Bruner, who essentially for 40 years plus has worked for the CIA as a spy. However, he's coming to the end of his run. He's every intention of retiring so that he can kind of move on with his life, and he wants to try and win back his wife, who he divorced 15 years previously because of his job. Now, his family didn't know what he did for a living. They thought he kind of sold gym equipment all around the world, which would explain his business trips away. So he finishes his last op, he retires happily, and then he is brought back in by the CIA as he is told there is an operative in danger. And he's the only one that can safely get this operative out because he knows the person involved. Gabrielle Luna plays Burrow, somebody who he essentially saved as a child, so knows and trusts Schwarzenegger's character. When he gets out there, he soon realises and learns that the operative in question who is in danger is in fact his daughter Emma, who has also been secretly working for the CIA unbeknownst to him. This is something of a shock, and they essentially then for the rest of the series have to learn to work together and accept each other to try and catch this bad guy, Burrow, played by Gabrielle Luna, with a ragtag team of CIA operatives. Right. What are my thoughts on Fubar? Well, this TV show, when it was first shown, the trailer, I don't know how long ago it was, a couple of months ago it feels like, I was quite excited to see Schwarzenegger back on the screen, whether it be the small screen or the big screen. My initial reaction was excitement because I didn't realise from watching the trailer it was going to be a TV show. I thought it was going to be a movie. And then at the end of the trailer it says series streaming on such and such a date. And I was a bit conflicted. I was like, oh, a TV show with Schwarzenegger. And maybe I was hesitant because I've never seen him in a TV show before. And certainly nothing like this. He's never done one. He's made guest appearances on them, but he's never been in like what you would describe as a full TV show. So I didn't really know what to make of it, but my excitement levels dropped a little bit. But after watching Fubar now, I made the time to try and binge watch it, and I watched it over about 2 or 3 days. I have to say, I thought this series was entertaining, but a little bit lackluster. I think the concept here is tried and tested by Schwarzenegger himself, obviously with True Lies. Obviously, it's a little bit of a twist to it, but it is essentially a very, very similar idea in a lot of ways, and it is, for the most part, a lot of fun, this show. But it's also a little bit tonally unbalanced. At times, this show goes for humour. And while it doesn't get belly laughs consistently by any stretch of the imagination, the humour is pretty decent and it works. You've got the usual one-liners from Arnie, and he is surrounded by a whole host of co-stars who can carry the weight in regards to certainly the comedy and the quick one-liners and things like that. And it works. However, this show as well, because it's 8 or 9 episodes, I can't just remember now, it also, I think, struggles with its own identity, because at times, like I say, it's light and fun, and then at times it kind of gets into like relationship dramas and family issues and romance stuff. It's just it feels a little bit cringe at times, and it for me it felt like they were actually struggling to fill the episodes. I think this this was a decent start. The first 3 or 4 episodes I thought were pretty decent and paced quite well, and then for me the pacing kind of started to fall off a cliff, and it felt like they were struggling to fill the episodes with ideas. And the constant bickering between the team, especially between Arnold and his daughter, got tiring fairly quickly. Um, and it had this strange habit, kind of at the end of each episode, there'd be like a cliffhanger. I think pretty much every episode anyway. And then the next episode, they would resolve that cliffhanger, bang, immediately. And it was like, um, it kind of you kind of felt like, especially when you're binge watching it as well, the cliffhangers don't work in a show that you're binge watching because you don't have a week to wait. Do you know what I mean? You've got like 30 seconds to wait for the next episode, so the cliffhangers don't have anything like the effect that they should. It's quite an old-fashioned approach to making a TV show that essentially every episode's going to stream at once. I think they maybe need to rethink that idea if they're going to move on to another series, which strongly suggests at the end of this that they are going to be doing that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything. But for me, tonally, excuse me, tonally it felt odd. The shifts from comedy to drama, they kind of felt at odds to each other throughout the show. But the action when we got it was decent. Obviously, I've seen some clips and some commentary from people saying Arnie's past it, and you can clearly tell it's stunt doubles. Well, of course, he's in his 70s, for God's sake. Give the guy a break. He ain't going to be doing all his own stunts anymore. Not that he ever did them. If you look at a lot of his movies, you can tell very clearly that Arnold isn't doing the stunts. He's never been that type of actor. You know what I mean? It's his charisma and persona that you buy on screen, not necessarily that it's him doing all his own stunts. So that kind of stuff doesn't bother me really. But I mean, high points. I thought the sessions with the therapist is like a therapist. It's trying to get him and his daughter to work together more effectively. They're quite fun, but we didn't really get enough of them. The cast was decent. However, I've got to say that I thought Fortune Feimster, who played Rue, was intensely irritating at times. At times, she was absolutely fine, and I thought she brought quite a lot actually to the show. And then at other times, you just wanted her to shut up. And then you were meant to believe that these individuals all work for this, CIA squad. You've got one of them that's like a super geek. You've got another one, let's say, who I'm not really sure what Rue did, what her character did in the show, other than give people one-liners and be a bit of a tech head. But you also had somebody else on the team that was a tech head. So I'm not really sure what some of them brought to the table in regards to that. So I thought this was a decent show. Like I said, and it was wonderful to see Arnold back on screen, and he was absolutely fine. It was classic Arnold, really. And at times you see him doing his one-liners, at times you see him doing his action, and at times you see him, doing a bit of acting in regards to, having conversations with people that he had relationships with, and it was absolutely fine. It started off really well, and then it sagged quite heavily in the middle, and then it picked up a little bit at the end. So I thought this was a decent attempt at doing a show. It's not bad, I kind of delayed watching it because I was worried it was going to be quite terrible. It's not. It's certainly watchable, and there's a lot of fun to be had here, but it's just not as high quality. And I think they probably would have been better, maybe, rather than doing 8 or 9 episodes, whatever it was, maybe trimming it down to 6 episodes, and really having a nicely structured, tight show that kind of, trimmed the fat, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I did enjoy Fubar. I'm glad I watched it. If you haven't seen it yet, and certainly if you're a fan of Arnold, it's a no-brainer. Check it out. You'll see some classic Arnold in this. For everybody else, if you're not that interested, then you're probably not going to like it that much. It's certainly It's doing well on Netflix. I think it's been at #1 in the TV shows for the last couple of weeks. It's getting stupid views. Obviously, it's Arnold on Netflix. What did you expect? And it's certainly worth checking out. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review of Fubar. If you did, please click the like button, comment, share, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. So thank you for watching.